Whakataka te au ki te uru, whakataka te au ki te tonga, kia mākina kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki tai. E ia ki ana te tākura, e tio, e uka, e au u, ti e mauri ora. Karere atu te mihi ki ngā mate o te rā, ngā mate o te wiki, ngā mate o te kaupeka, o te tau, e rarau atu ana koutou ki ine pōuriuri, ki hine nui te pō, me ki te whare o wharaurangi, koutou te pitoroa ki te pitoroa, tātou te pitopoto ki te pitopoto, ti e kūreperepe, ti e kūraparapa, ti e mauri ora nau mai, rarau mai, e aku iti, aku nui ki tēnei o ngā hōtaka e kia ngene ko ka PAO, i a rāhina, i a rāmere, ka rongo koutou marungi i te reo irirangi. Ahoe anō, ia pōpare, ka mātakitaki mai, I runga I tō tātou nei whārangi, te korimako o Taranaki o te whārangi o ka PAO. Ahoe anō, anei rā, tō mātou nei manuhiri, I te rangi nei, ka kōrero e pāna ki ona, mai I roto I te ao waiata, I roto I te ao kapaaka. Hoi anō, nui ona kōrero kia tuku atu ki koutou e mātakitaki mai ana. Nō reira, ka tuku atu te rākau ki a koe Unity, mau nei e kōrero mai ko wai koe, no wai koe.
Kia ora. Kia ora, how are you? Are you good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Had a big day at mahi today, teaching at Kura and then home to teach too. But had a main gym session this morning, so that got me going.
yeah. Are you able to just tell everybody where you're from and who you is and what you do, just quickly before we
get into all right, kia ora. Okay, so I'm Tainui ways, brought up in Paraparaumu. I was brought up Pakeha, but then when I hit high school, I was like, something's missing in my life, and that's when I went on the kapahaka journey and te reo Māori journey. And so I moved up here 10 years ago, started into kapahaka, and I was always a singing teacher. I was always a singer. And since I've been here, my career as a teacher, a kaiako, an entertainer, it's just growing. And me as a person, it's growing. So, yeah.
So tell me about this gift, music. What does it gift to you, and what does it give to others? Like, is it a reciprocal kind of taonga to you? Tell me about it. Tell me your connection there.
So my connection with music, I've had phases of being connected with my music and then disconnected as well. It's generally been connections where I feel like the reciprocation I feel comes when I can give my gift to people by singing to them or singing for them. And then I feel the reciprocation is when they come to me and say, that really touched me. And that's like swings and roundabouts, you know, that touched me, or man, I felt that, and I was just like, well, because, you know, generally if I'm singing something and I feel it, I know that they're going to feel it. And I've found over the years, as I've done my own inner healing within myself, that I've connected more and more with music, and especially my own music, or music that I feel connected to. And that's even what I teach when I teach kids, is that I get them to sing things that it's like their heart song, you know, like sing music that brings them joy or that they feel connected to. And that's something that I've had to teach myself, even though I thought I was connected to music, but it wasn't until I started singing songs that I was like, why am I singing this? Well, I'm singing about people that are breaking up, and I'm like, it's really sad, but I liked the beat. So that's where I turned the whole connection with music around and realized, I wasn't actually connecting with music. I was singing, you know, I was singing, I was playing, but I wasn't actually in the music. And like, I came up with this concept the other day. People have probably heard it before, but it was, how can you be present to people if you're not present? Which I reckon is a really good broad, you know, is a really good statement, because if you're not present within yourself, how can you gift yourself to people? Because, you know, they're not going to feel it. And as I've been more and more present within my music and my performing and entertaining, I've felt it within me. I've felt like I'm singing away and I'm crying, and then I'm looking and they're crying, and it's like, whoa, and that's where that reciprocation is. And I'm feeling it more and more and more. And it's almost like I've been singing for like 28, 30 years now. I feel like I'm just at the beginning again. So, yeah.
I'm glad that you mentioned like that vibe when you see somebody and you're like, oh, you're crying, and you get that instant connection about songs. And so you've been performing for some time now. I mean, like I think I remember it would have been about 7, 8 years ago when I first met you. I saw you at Decanter, but you've had a history prior to that. Let's talk about where it all began musically. Like, where did it all start off there?
So basically, when I was a child, my father was a musician, and he's still 65 years old, and he's still a musician to this day. And my dad is that Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray Vaughan, and he can, I don't know how, but with his big sausage fingers, he can just jam out anything, man. And I just, I'm the singer, he's the guitarist and the singer. I'm a guitarist, but I'm just a basic guitarist, And so it started with my dad. Dad used to be that guy that used to cruise around with his guitar on his back and me in front. And then when I went into my high school years, I started joining in with the bands with Dad. And then I started going into other bands. And then it just progressed more and more and more. And one of my biggest times that I realized I had a belter voice was one day I started singing Anastasia's Not That Kind of Girl. And I just powered it out, and everyone was like, where did that come from? And I was like, oh, no. And that's, yeah. So that was like, it just started going and going and going and going. And when I look back now to where I was back, say, I don't know, 25 years ago, musically, it's a little bit overwhelming, actually, because it's like, far out, I am doing really well. And it's not often I can actually say, I'm doing really, really well. Like it's really cool.
So, like, where has music taken you? Like, and who have you met? Like famous people worked with. Let's hear some stuff that like a lot of people won't know. I know some.
Okay, so I opened for Stan Walker in 2013, I think it was, over in Napier. And so I got to meet him and hang out with him, and that was cool. He's awesome. He was awesome. I took a whole lot of entertainers from here, some other dancers and stuff, and we actually went in a Hummer limo, which is really awkward to get in, by the way. And we went in a Hummer limo, and we went to the show, and it was incredible. It was so, so cool. And I did the performer side of stuff. I didn't do the musician side of stuff. I did the performer side, and I think I did Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy and Something's Got a Hold of Me and stuff like that. Yeah. And then I've opened for Holly Smith down in my hometown in Paraparaumu. I've been to America, and I competed in the World Champs Performing Arts, and that was all here in Taranaki. I've opened for the Chiefs a couple of times. I've done that. Christmas at the Bowl, I've done the finale a few times, which is once again the performer side of it. There is definitely a difference between performer side and the entertainer or musician side, musicianship. So I call it the diva side. And actually, long time ago, would have been at least 20 years ago, I sang with David Grace. Did a little bit of mahi down with him because he lived in Paraparaumu then. And, that was really cool. And racking my brains. The All Blacks, I opened for the All Blacks in Argentina after function. And I had them clap for me. And that's probably when I was a bit speechless and went a little bit.
I actually, myself and Morgana and Matarai, we did the ceremony at the beginning with the karanga. Yeah. And I remember seeing, because Argentina came on first, and they're like, you could see them, and I was like, oh, yeah, cool. They were like this big to us. And then when the All Blacks came out, it was like this big. It was like,
oh, yeah.
They were huge. They're like giants.
Oh, no, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, what are they feeding them? No.
Oh man.
Okay, so you've been a part of the local music industry for a long time, and I want to look at like things that you've been putting into. Like you actually pour in a lot of your energy in local events and fundraisers. What are the top three fundraisers that you've like wholeheartedly enjoyed?
Oh man, it's really actually hard to think about the fundraisers I'm thinking about around here. Because there's been quite a few. Oh, is it the helicopter?
Oh yeah,
There
yeah,
was a
yeah.
helicopter. Yeah, I enjoyed doing that one. That was quite cool. Because I've done quite a lot of pro bono where I feel like giving back is without wanting to receive, and in some way or another it comes back to you anyway. But like, I mean, I've done since I've been in Taranaki, which is 10 years, I've done so much. I just sometimes I have to actually go back in my books and look and go, oh yeah, I did that. Oh yeah, I did that. Like I did the cancer one at what's it called? Down at the
Relay for life.
stadium. Relay for Life. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that was good. And I felt that was a big one for me because and that was good a few years ago. But I feel like that was meant something to me because I've lost a lot of people to cancer as well. And I've got a lot of friends that are fighting cancer. And so, to be part of something like that does become that emotional connection. So you do feel that sense of connection and reciprocation because you're giving back to people. If you can't give anything to anybody, then being able to give yourself as as waiata, then I think that's huge. I've sung at a lot of people's tangi, and I quite often think that's the only thing I can feel like I can give to people sometimes. If it means me turning up singing some songs to help people ease their minds or to help them with the way they're feeling, then I'm more than happy to do that. If I can go to somebody and sing for somebody to make them feel better, I will. I sing at the brain injury unit once a week down in Omahanui. Oh, that's called Wesley House now. I sing there once a week, and that fills me with with joy because they can't get out. They don't do much down there. And they are all singing and smiling and having fun. And that's like fills my cup for the week, hanging out with them and having two brothers, growing up with brothers that were in wheelchairs who have both passed away now. That's, in a way, it's a little bit of that connection for me. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny how you give a lot and it just kind of becomes that healing process, or not even healing, it's like a satisfaction to it. Like there's some sort of there's a beauty to giving, especially as
Yeah.
singers. Do you feel
Yeah.
sometimes that when you often give a lot as a performer that it actually drains you?
Yeah, sometimes it can be quite draining, especially if it's quite an emotional attachment.
Yeah.
But I've really learnt how to, I'm not say switch off, but I've learnt how to, emotionally detach myself in the end after it's been, depending on what the situation is. Once upon a time, I used to get really stressy performing and stuff like that. And now I've just adapted to it so much, and I've got 3 boys that they fit in with my schedule. And my 13-year-old's now as tall as me and fits my shoes. But I feel like, they're following in my shoes musically, different paths. They're actually doing different things, but it's really cool to see. So, yeah.
So let's talk about what's happening now. Like, there's a lot of things that are happening. Like you're tutoring, you're giving lessons, but let's dive into the now Unity.
Right now. Yeah. Okay, so I my first thing is that I'm a solo mum. I've got my 2 boys at home. My oldest is living in Wellington, and he's actually a drag queen, an amazing drag queen, and he does a really good job. And then I've got my 13-year-old and my 11-year-old, and they live at home with me, and my 2 kitties, my kitty cats. Anyway, currently I'm about to release my second EP, which is tomorrow. Will be out on Spotify. Whoop, whoop. And it's called Rise Up. My song is about looking within yourself and realizing that, you know, the only person that's going to help you is you. Yes, you've got people, outside influences, but the amount of years that I've looked without, and, you know, outside of myself for tautoko, when I realized it was actually myself I needed to tautoko, you know, that inner child needed me to go, I got you, girl. You know, and I feel like my life experience is in these songs that I'm putting out. Like my first one, which I put out a couple of months ago, called Fear Has No Place Here, is about COVID. And it's more about not living in your head and being fearful of COVID and fearful of people and fearful of everything else. And it's a real good, I feel like most and all of my music is I want people to hear it and be either inspired or encouraged, or they feel good from it and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to people hearing tomorrow, because I don't really fit in a box when it comes to music, because I sing everything. I sing all genres, and all of my music is different genres, is slightly different genres, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not fitting a box, because clearly I don't fit in a box.
You and I both.
Yeah.
I can hear my seat already struggling because it's just wanting to move.
Oh, cut it out.
So let's talk about your song. How did you think? Well, first and foremost, was it stressful getting it from A to B? I know for myself it was stressful. So like A to B, like what was that like for you?
So last year, I did my whole album last year with Sam Johnson out in Wakura. Yeah. So Rhythm Ace, whoop whoop. He's the man. He is just awesome, and I love him to pieces, and he's just so encouraging. But I got sponsorship from two men here in Taranaki, Murray Dick from Taranaki Engineering, and Dave McClay from Arabic Engineering, and they both sponsored me. And so I got the album done. I actually wrote most of my music and recorded it in the studio on the day. Yeah, some of them was just like, I don't know what I'm doing today, but I'm going to come in and I'm going to sit here and oh, okay, I'm going to write about this, you know. And the stuff I came out with was cool, because there was no distractions. There was no tamariki. There was no people. There was no housework. There was no distractions. I could actually completely be zoned in and focused on writing. Because I really struggle to write when I'm at home. I need to be somewhere that's, you know, the beach or in the bush or somewhere that there's absolutely no distraction, even away from my phone or anything like that, because we all know that that's a rabbit hole. Once you're in that Facebook, that's it. Yeah, so very stressful, because basically I had all these sessions lined up during COVID. Obviously, I didn't know it was COVID was happening, but I had all these sessions lined up, and they all had to be cancelled. So my album would have been completely out last year. So this year I've sat back, and then I got approached by a couple of friends out in Wakura, and they said, Unity, we love you, we love your music, and we want to sponsor you to complete your album. And so, yeah, so that was like, oh, that was that moment. And so my reciprocation to them is that, you know, I'll be doing some gigs for them, some, you know, whether they want house parties or things like that. And, you know, for them, the gift of me giving and giving out the music out to people is good for them. They love it. and they've come to a few gigs with me here and there, and they know my kids and they open their arms to us, and it just blows me away that there's these people out there that really believe in me and encourage me and support me, and it's just a little bit overwhelming. But yeah, so it has been a very stressful process, and at the moment my album's in the middle of being mixed, so it's all been done, but it's currently been mixed. In fact, Sam sent me my third one today. In fact, that's him messaging me on Facebook. I see that he sent me my next one, which is a song called Good to Be Alone. And that's all about being okay with being on your own and being with yourself. I think there's a lot of people in this world that need to know that it's okay to be on your own, and that it's okay. And that's something that I've had to appreciate. Being okay with your own company is better than being in company with, the wrong people. So Sam sent me that today. So that's going to be released probably within the next 3-4 weeks too. So it's rolling. Woo! Rolling on a river.
Oh my gosh. So it's funny that you say that, because I've been with Sam. We've done a few things together, and he's got a vibe. And if you know the vibe, you know Sam. There's a vibe there, and you do tend to just ride it with him. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about, but I've gone in there and literally composed a whole completely new song. And I paid full time for something that was supposed to be done.
I hear you, girl.
Yeah. It's some days music just chooses you to do something different.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about songwriting. You were saying that you prefer to go somewhere silent or somewhere like a beach or somewhere like a forest and stuff. Do you have your own structure, like a structure of creating songs? I've got 5. And
I've got I'm like that. It just happens. I find it just happens. Sometimes I might have a chord progression. Sometimes I might just get a riff in my head. I've got a specific riff for one of my songs, and it goes something like, and I got Sam to play it on the guitar, and now that's in one of my songs. And
nice.
I think that's in my song Lost in the System. And actually I wrote that song when Alan Manu was sick. And I wrote Lost in the System because he got lost in the system. Just like half of the people, they get lost in the system because, they become a number. And that's really what happened with Alan. And I told him not long before he passed is that I said, I'm going to write that song, and I'm going to record it. And then not long after Alan passed, Alan Manu, which I'm sure a lot of people know Alan on here, Leslie, his wife, sent me a card thanking me for singing at his tangi and sent me lyrics. And one of the songs was called Don't Give Up. And so I've already recorded the song, and it's a blues song with a bit of a riff sounding like Uncle Al. And it's called Don't Give Up, and I've recorded that. That's going to be probably within the next couple of waiata that come out on my album. So it's Ellen's words, my music that we've thrown in, and she said, do what you like with it. And so I'm pretty stoked with it, because at the very end of it, I changed at the very end, and Sam and Matt Sargan were in the studio when I came out with this random whole lot of words and notes, and they were like, yes.
I love that. Musos, especially our local tribe, we know each other, we vibe with each other, we can go to a gig and we make our own gig in a circle by singing and jamming. I mean, I don't know how many times we've done that, but I'm kind of pleased that we all have this appreciation for each other's music, which is good, because we kind of literally vibe off each other. We're needing that, especially when there are times as musos. I don't know if you feel this, you feel empty as an artist. You are an artist, you are always fulfilled, but at times you feel like you're empty. I've heard of people who have had creative blocks. I've experienced once or twice. And some people are still actually riding those music blocks. What do you do?
So I've actually had, for quite some time, for a couple of years, I've had this real complacency where, so I'm an established musician, you know, like there's lots of people that are established, and I've had a few musicians say that, you know, I'm match fit. I do 3 to 4 hours without practicing ever because I've established those songs. But I got to a point where it's like, ugh, doing the same old, same old, same old. So obviously you have to practice, but it's like, you know, going to the gym. It takes forever to get you there, but you finally get there, you love it. Well, it's the same with practicing. Oh, can't be bothered practicing. Procrastination. And it's like, so I feel like I've started to get this block is going. And I think what it is, it's the healing within myself that I'm doing is now bringing back that passion again. And I'm noticing I'm reconnecting more and more and more. So when it comes to writer's block, you've got to find something that re-sparks your connection. It could be a different change in music. It could be forming a band, because I'm a solo artist. I love jumping in with other artists. I love it. Like, I love collabing because I've got other people's energy to bounce off, and we can bounce off each other's energy. Whereas when you're by yourself, and I had this corridor with Andre Manella, he said the same thing. He says, when you're by yourself, you can get really complacent and bored and lonely. You know, like you're singing up there on your set, you're doing your job on your own. I mean, even when I teach kapahaka, I'm on my own. I teach kapahaka on my own. Yeah, the kids are there in front of me, but I'm on my own. No one's there to back me. You know, when I'm playing music and playing looping and stuff, I'm there performing to people that are in front of me, but I'm still on my own. You know, so it's when you're in a band situation, you've got other people and you're all there together and you're all feeding off each other, and it's such a different energy. So I guess when people have got writer's block, or when they are getting a bit procrastination of practicing or learning more stuff, then go bounce off other musicians. It might be like have a little hui, get together and, you know, oh, why don't you do some of this music, or why don't you try something different there, or have you thought about doing this with your or have you thought about learning a new instrument, just to re-spark it, because there's always something. Doesn't always necessarily be an instant switch, but there's always something, you know, like I've rekindled playing piano again. That piano was my first instrument, you know, and I was always I play by ear, and so I've been playing the piano, guitar and stuff like that as well. But, you know, now I'm like, what else can I play? I've always wanted to learn the saxophone and electric violin to be like Vanessa May, you know? So, but once again, it's that procrastination. I could learn it, but, you know, I haven't got a huge amount of time. So I guess it's also when it comes to time is really important. You've got to make sure that you actually allocate time. You know, if you add it into your daily schedule to practice or to write, if that's what you want to do, then yeah, I've had to start doing that. If I want to have a practice time, I need to add it in, just like I add in my gym schedule or my kura. You know, I've got 9 schools, and then I've got the other jobs that I do. I'm teaching at Oranga Tamariki. I'm teaching the staff, you know, giving them karakia and waiata and stuff like that. And it's just finding that fire again. I've needed to find that fire again for ages, and I feel like the reason why I needed to find the fire is that I needed to actually be on my own, which I was terrified about being on my own. Was like, well, I'm going to be alone with my thoughts, you know, and we all know that we can get wrapped in our own thoughts and wrapped up in our own heads and stuff like that. And that's where music's always been a savior for people, because, you know, no matter who's there for you, or you could be on your own, or, you know, there's nothing else in the world that you know, but music's always there. No matter what, no matter where you are, music's always there. You can open your mouth and you can sing. You can open your mouth and make a sound, and it's just a vibration. So, yeah.
I hear that you've got a lot on, which is good. It's good. You're filling in those gaps that are needing to be filled. So, what would you like to give to those who are watching this at the moment, who are wanting to do things that you're doing and get engaged and involved and start prepping into music?
Well, if there was anybody that wanted to contact me, like I would be more than happy. I love to mentor people, as you know. I'm teaching all the rangatahi at the moment. I'm really enjoying working with teenage girls because you find that connection that with them and the life skills that I have with music. I've been doing this for 28 years. I feel like some of the younger ones that are wanting to progress forward with their music come to me, and we don't just teach them singing. I don't just teach them about diaphragm and your breathing and everything. I actually mentor them and help them and guide them in the way, all right, if you want to be professional, this is what you need to do. Even simple things like don't come here and drink milk. And I'm more than happy for people to contact me, and if I always make time for people, no matter how busy I am. I always make time for people, especially for people that need help. But I always make the strong statement, I will only help you if you help yourself. I want to help people and really guide people in the right direction, but I want them to be able, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make them drink. But like I say, if there's anyone that wants a bit of tautoko or help and point in the right direction, I'm more than happy to guide people. Absolutely.
Well, thank you for your time today, my friend. I'm just going to put the link down there, Whānau. Like, can you see the link? That's where you can get her new song that's dropping tomorrow at midday, is it?
Yeah, midday. So it'll be on Spotify with my other one. So, yeah, they're slowly coming out.
Give her a follow, Whānau, our local artist, Unity Wara, with her Waiata Rise Up. But my friend, let's definitely catch up and do some jams together. I know that we can definitely whip something up just easy, and hopefully my love loves old Tira Wilson. Those who know, my love loves old Tira. She just had her birthday on the weekend and she looked amazing. You both did, actually. Yeah, so those of you who are watching, thank you so much for participating and listening to our friend here, Unity. Yeah, my friend, that's us. I'm going to finish off with our karakia. Please be kind to each other. I know times are heavy. We're all debating into certain things at the moment, and just remember that love is the biggest thing, and being kind to everybody, no matter what their decisions are. And enjoy the weekend, even though that it's Thursday now and Friday tomorrow. But enjoy the weekend. When I see yous all, I'll see yous all. But hui anō, ane ngā kupu tapu whikawaka te pito tātou nei ui tēnei pō. Kia uru mai au ora au ka au mai ki runga ki raro ki roto ki wa o ririre au. Pai marire.
Pai marire.